Greetings Year 12 students, class of 2020. Here we are at the start of term 2 and it's our first assembly for the term. Welcome back. Normally for an assembly like this we would have 200 of you actually in the room, but of course this morning it's a virtual assembly because we can't be at school. So we have to make the best of the situation in hand. So welcome, and I've got 5 minutes or so to say a few words. So as we know, we live in unprecedented times. I was born in 1964. Do the maths, makes me 55, almost 56. In my lifetime, we've had a few challenges, but certainly nothing to what we've got currently in the world at the moment. In the 1960s and the early 1970s, there was always the threat of perhaps a nuclear war between the US and the USSR. We've had AIDS epidemics, we've had 9/11 terrorism, but we certainly haven't had the events we've got at the moment on such an unprecedented global scale, which is affecting literally the whole world. And from a Year 12 perspective, it's certainly affecting you. This should be a fantastic year for you. You turn 18, you've got the 18th birthday parties, you've got the opportunity to get your license, you've got the opportunity to work collaboratively with your classmates to do your very best in terms of VCE results and ultimately that ATAR which will get you to university. At the moment, things are all over the place and that's completely beyond your control. However, as a school, we'll try and do everything within our power to still make the year memorable. We've already delayed your Year 12 formal. Potentially the exams may be a little bit later in the year, so we'll look at changing your valedictory dinner as well. And certainly with what we're going to be doing online, we want to try and maximise your potential. So one of these booklets was sent out to your parents, and we'll be certainly making sure you've got a copy of this as well, which has got all our online activities, and Mr. Bourbon will talk about that generally to you as Year 12s and to all other students as well in the next little while. So we want you to do your best. It's trying times. So Year 12s, the class of 2020, we're living literally through what is a once in a century event. You and I have very little control over that situation. But what we can do is have the right attitude. We have to live in hope. We have to know that our government and our health authorities are doing the very, very best they can for Victoria and Australia. We will get through this. You will have all those opportunities to enjoy yourselves, and you really do have the rest of your lives ahead of you. So stay positive, work together as best you can with physical distancing. We have an online community which will help you, and ultimately when we get to December or perhaps January when you finish Year 12, you'll all deserve a fantastic pat on the back for showing great resilience. So all the best Year 12 as we start term 2.
Hi Year 12 students, happy Easter and welcome back to a very different term 2. We've been doing a lot of work, hopefully getting your learning and wellbeing ready for you over the course of this term. So I want to talk a little bit about what a day looks like, what an average day looks like. Every morning we want you to check in with your pastoral teacher with a colour that indicates how you're feeling. And the purpose behind that is that we can make sure that we're there for you if you need our help and that we're making sure that everyone's okay. Your pastoral teacher will write to you and explain how that process works, and all that's required of you every day is just continuing that chat, responding with a colour, and we'll take it from there. Your double periods will be the time when your subject teachers connect with you. So our plan is that through your timetable, when the double period is on, your teacher will have a short 15-20 minute online video conference with you or something that they've recorded. They'll have a learning program for the week outlined for you, and that will also be a time in the double period where you can ask questions and get answers in real time. At other times during the course of the week, your teachers are able to respond to you, but there might be a little bit of lag time there. Teachers might try initially to set up other meeting times with you just to make sure that your learning is tracking well, and they'll certainly be free to do that. But as we settle into the learning of term 2, it'll be the double periods that we have in your day where you're connecting with your teachers. It is really important that you are connecting with your teachers, not just through those doubles, but that you are seeking their assistance, that you're making sure you're staying on top of tasks and submitting those, and also that you're connecting with your class peers as well. That brings us to another way that we want to connect with you, and that's through the pastoral and wellbeing focus. I've spoken about the daily check-in. But in teams, each pastoral group will have their own pastoral team. And there'll be a range of different pastoral activities that are put up there for you every week. They'll appear either on the Friday afternoon or over the weekend to begin on the Monday. We're going to have 5 opportunities, small brief opportunities every week. They might be competitions, they might be challenges, they might be activities to reflect on in terms of mindfulness and in terms of self-regulation and being self-aware. We'll also be starting a journal. As a lot of people have said, as Mr. Hirst has said, we are living history right now. And the idea behind the journal is that you're able to track your experience. It is unique. It is something unlike anything a living person has gone through. So those journals will be incredibly valuable for you now, but also in your future. We will have student leader initiatives. We've already had 2 or 3 senior student council meetings, and there's some fantastic ideas that are coming from our student leaders that we'll be making sure feed out to all of our students and to our Year 12s during the course of each week. We will be connecting you with mindfulness apps, and we'll be encouraging mindfulness meditation. One of the best ones is the Smiling Minds app. And just yesterday, the government announced more funding into Smiling Minds so that they can be providing you with a range of different opportunities there. And finally, there'll be the Random Acts of Kindness Challenge that we'll be setting up, and that will be in time something that we'll be encouraging you to take part in for house points. I want to talk briefly now about your jackets. The supplier's been in touch with me, and he tells me that the supply chains and manufacturing chains are absolutely fine. They haven't been disturbed at all, and the process has been going like clockwork. What has been challenged is how we ship them, how we freight them to Australia. Usually they've come via air from China to Australia, but over the course of the last few weeks, the cost of that has gone up 600%. And so in order to be able to afford it, the supplier is now going to ship them by sea. That'll add a couple of weeks to the delivery date, but we're still expecting them to arrive in the second half of Term 2. When they do arrive, if we are still going through online learning, still away from school, we'll set up a staggered model for you to be able to come into school in small groups, small numbers, over the course of a couple of days to pick up your jacket so that you can put them on for your classes. That's probably enough from me now. I'm going to send out a message to all students that I'll include Year 12s in as well, covering all of these pieces of information. I really want to emphasise just before I go how important that daily check-in is. It is important to us that we stay connected with you, and it is important to us that we can be there to help you if you need it. Thanks, Year 12s.